result from the women's camp. How did the weekend play out for you?
Yeah, look, obviously would have been nice to come away with 2 wins, but I think, I guess following on from the previous weekend when we played some really good basketball against the 2 of the top 3 teams, the girls really continued on in that fashion over the weekend, and as I said, we were disappointed that we didn't get that second win on the Sunday, but the style of basketball we're playing now is much more, aligned with the way that we wanted to play from the start, and the team's starting to gel, and some players are starting to get the best out of themselves, which is really what we're after. So it's whilst the results haven't necessarily gone our way, it's starting to turn the way that we want it to go. So
that style, we talked about the physicality and that sort of thing, and you also spoke about getting it right with the timings and making sure that players are fresh towards the end of games. I guess what changes have you made that sort of been pretty better results?
Yeah, we've made a concerted effort to get the bench and the younger players a bit of a look earlier in the game, particularly the last couple of weeks. And I think structurally we changed a few things offensively as well, which sort of changed the ball movement a little bit and made a few players a bit more comfortable. So it's a shame that it's taken till this point for us to sort of get that in order, but it's feeling and looking a lot better, and we think we can do some damage in the back end of the season here.
Is that promising? That things are now sort of coming right. Has your attitudes and sort of morale and culture kind of improved and sort of changed in recent sort of?
Yeah, look, I can't fault the team in terms of their, application to the task and effort, and culturally we're as strong as any team that I've coached. I guess the challenge for this group has been they're probably a little bit too nice. So we've had some conversations about understanding that we need to be a little bit more competitive and hold each other accountable a little bit more, and we can still be friends and get along really well, but when we step over that line we probably need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And I think that's starting to sink in, and it's a difficult thing for a young team, and even with youngish imports I suppose in comparison to what we've had in the past. So it is a young team, and those types of things are things that you develop over time. So we're definitely making strides forward as we go through the season. But as I said, it would have been nice to sort of come to those realisations a few weeks earlier.
Where does that change happen? Is that from the leaders in the group? How do you sort of create that change? As you say, you've got a lot of young players. It can be difficult for them to sort of transition into that. Where does that change?
Yeah, a lot of that sits with myself and the coaching staff. We do a lot of work on our culture and spend a lot of time, prepping that, and getting the players that are coming into the program understanding the history of the club and what we're trying to achieve in terms of creating care factor amongst the group and becoming a program that the community cares about as well. So the challenge for us is when we have players coming in late that we can't sort of get that started before they get here. So that's been a building process over the last probably 4 weeks that we sort of came to a culmination last week, and I think the results of the way we played has really shown that that's been a benefit. So it is a shame that we don't get the chance to do that earlier, but it's just a challenge of the way it works for us at the moment.
Have you guys got the next 2 at home?
So we play Launceston this week. We have the break, and then we're on the road against Mount Gambier and Geelong.
I guess at this point in the season, next 2 games, how important are they?
Yeah, well, pretty big. We're still aiming to win as many games as we can, and I think finals is still a possibility. It'll be the bottom end of the 8 now, but if we can put it together and get on a roll, we definitely think we can do some damage and achieve that. But I think the biggest thing is just to continue that progression. The 3-year rebuild, we're still in that, even though sometimes we look ahead and think maybe we can make a finals and have an impact on the championship. But the fact of the matter is we're still in that rebuilding phase and still trying to get those young local players opportunities and be ready to compete over the next few years, and that's still the focus. But I think definitely for the group it's important that we buckle down and try and get as many wins as we can in this second half. I guess there's affirmation for them that they know that we're heading in the right direction.
Anyone that's particularly impressed, Richards and Walker have been a couple of consistent sort of pieces. Just from your perspective, I guess, who's sort of been impressing you? Or?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't speak more highly of Zoe Richards and the effort that she put forth on the weekend. Obviously has had probably a tough start to the first half of the season. There were some injury troubles and confidence issues. But the way she responded to the discussions we've had over the last couple of weeks, and came out with 2 really fantastic games on the weekend, and was really the difference in the win in the game that we won on Saturday night. I couldn't speak more highly of the way that she's approached it, and it was really nice to see Sierra Walker as well start to find some confidence from the 3-point line. I think she's bumped her 3-point percentage up to near 40% now, and 7 of 8 from 3 in the second game. So. Once again, it's a shame it's sort of taken us this many weeks to sort of find that rhythm. But as I said, if we can, hold it together and keep that going in the second half, we think we can, if not make the finals, certainly impact what's going to happen in the playoffs. That's for sure.